Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to Young Titan World. Hope you guys are having a good day. If you're not having a good day, well, me neither. We're just getting through it. I hope you have the strength to go through it and have a better day. Now, why the hell am I making this video? Well, it's quite simple, really. I don't think anyone asked that, but I'm gonna answer it anyways because it's my YouTube channel. God damn it. Sorry about that. Anyways, today we are going to be talking about mental health. Now, I've always had the desire to talk about mental health because everyone seems to have a different opinion about it. And most of the time, if we want to have a really deep discussion about mental health, you would hear names like Jordan Peterson and we'd hear names like Andrew Tate. At least those are the main two when it comes to men's or male mental health. And it's always the same kind of story where guys go through a lot, but they never have the opportunity to tell anyone else. It's a really sad situation, and everyone decides that they're going to bottle up their emotions and hope that it does not come out in a screaming rage that can murder people. Now, honestly, taking the advice of Andrew Tate or Jordan Peterson is always a way to go. They tell you that you need to be stoic. They tell you that you need to move on in case you're in pain because no one is willing or ready to console you. That is how the world is. Men are not considered babies, they're considered to man up in order to live the life that they were meant to live. Take control, have something that is worth living for, and fight for it. It's never whenever someone says that it's okay for men to cry or it's okay for men to be vulnerable to the people around them, you get a lot of backlash. Some guys want to do that, honestly. I'm sure they'd be open to being vulnerable to their girlfriends and to their spouses and everything like that, but it usually even has a worser or negative effect rather than a positive one because then they start to panic and wonder if the person that they're confiding for to provide and protect them is not capable of providing these things because they are freaking out and they're crying in front of them. And it makes them look really, really, really vulnerable themselves, Because if you do not have the strength to go on unperturbed and unshamed, like unfazed, they're worried, okay? Because they're the ones who are usually weaker, or at least they're the ones who consider themselves to latch onto you for support, and you are not giving them support. So basically, you've screwed them over, and they need to find assurance somewhere else. Hence, cheating. Some people can actually cheat just because their guys were vulnerable. Their guys were nice. And there are so many pieces of content that have justified this. There have been many podcasts that talk about it. And you ask yourself, so what exactly would be the best remedy for a person who is struggling with mental health? Because guys never get the attention that is needed. Sometimes even mental health facilities don't exactly treat male wards the same as they do females. Like females, they put them on a pedestal. Guys, they're like, go take an Advil, you get over it. It's kind of like that because guys are supposed to man up. They're supposed to be tough about it. And it happens in every setting. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe in Russia, the men are treated like women or the other way around. I don't know. But you see in every single culture, whether it's an Indian culture, it's an African culture, most especially in the African culture. I can concur with that because male mental health in African culture is supposed to be non-existent. You're apparently to them, you're wired to be unbreakable. If you're a guy, you're strong, you're mentally in sync, you've got an ability to overcome every difficulty without a problem. Emotional, you don't have those. You are responsible for the life of your family, and so you have to be as hard as a rock and as steady and firm as a mountain, unbreakable. That's basically it. So when those values are not portrayed by the said man, we've got ourselves chaos. We've got ourselves people running helter skelter, trying to find a solution. Now, the reason why I talk about mental health so much, or the reason why I like talking about mental health so much, is because it's a topic that is always ignored in the African setting. When you are in Africa and you talk about mental health, it is presumed unlucky, or it's perceived as bad, because you have people who consider it to be a curse when you're mad or when you're driven insane. Yeah, they don't think it has anything to do with stress or the fact that you lost someone who was dear to you and so you lost your mind. No, they think it's a demon that did that. In order to avoid that, they're going to have to be more religious and more spiritual in order for them to not go insane, because that means that the devil has the opportunity to burn your mind and turn you into a absolute shell of your old self. So it's really it I guess this is just to say that you're going through something that no one else gets to relate with you. Sometimes thinking that you can confide in your friends is a lie, because your friends are not going to be able to relate with you, because it seems like for some of them it's better they pretend that they're all right than admit that they have a problem. Because if they pretend that they're all right, then they'll feel all right, up at least up to the point where they break. And when they break, it's too late. It's too late for them to be saved. It's too late for them to have a second chance at life, because they've already stressed out every single nerve in their brain and now they're left for dead. So I gotta tell you, sometimes it's not really the best thing to fake being stoic. Pretend that you're hardcore. Just listen to a couple of Sigma videos and all of a sudden you're invincible. That's not how it works. That's not how therapy works. But I believe these pieces of invincibility, or these pieces that give you invincibility, are only temporary. Whether you listen to an amazing song that makes you feel super confident about yourself, or find a motivational video online that helps you feel like you can conquer the world, those are just temporary little shots that will not take you far. They are just going to hold you and keep you in a state where you feel confident in yourself. Not long enough. It's in such a way that you need to constantly go back to them, or else you're never going to feel like you've accomplished anything. You're never going to feel happy about the decision that you made, unless, of course, you run back into the arms of those motivational speeches. Now, what they wouldn't tell you is that they're trying to motivate you so you can depend on them. Yes, that's right. If my customer is consistently, and I mean consistently, coming back to me, uh, just give me a moment. I need to plug up the old charger, else it's not going to record. Yeah, so as I was saying, they are not exactly there to help you, they're there to help themselves. When you give someone the key to handling their mental health problems, they're not going to come back. So what they have to do in order to make profit off of you is to have you coming back to them. You know, you create a system that makes them see that they're capable of amazing things, but you don't give them the full box, or they don't give you the whole package, because they know that if they do give you the whole package, they're going to run out of business. They're not going to have anything else that the world would want. So they need to give it to you piece by piece. And you would keep on running back to those motivational videos. You'd be running back to go buy their books, attend their conventions, listen to their podcast over and over again in order to feel like you have something to fight for. Because you see, mental health sometimes also deals with the mind and how far you're willing to push it, how far you're willing to deal with your own trauma. Some of us don't even want to sit down and think about the bad things that have happened to us because we think it's too traumatic. We look into the past and we try to perceive anything that was even the least traumatizing and we try and wipe it out from our brains. We always try to do that because we think that if it's not there, we're going to feel better. Forgetting that you went through a traumatic experience does not solve the issue. It only makes it worse because then your mind doesn't know where all of this chaos and unsettledness and uncomfortability, it doesn't know where it's coming from because you made it a conscious effort to forget about all of it. And now that it's gone, your brain is just freaking out because it has no idea how the fuck you put it into that situation. So I have to say, if you are out there and you are experiencing challenges, you're blacking out. You're feeling like you're not exactly in control of whatever situation is going around you, whether you're going to work, you're going to school, but you feel out of it. It's like a routine. You're not exactly into it. You feel numb all the time. Even watching TV series and movies don't really get you as they used to. This might be a good sign to try and seek help. Now, fortunately, there is a lot. I think fortunately and unfortunately, there is a lot of information about how to handle these things. Because fortunately, because there are those genuine experts out there who have extensive knowledge about mental health and what you're supposed to do when you find yourself in that situation. And that's great. But there's also the other side of the coin. There are those who have made these individual kind of researches that don't exactly hit hard on the point and they could be more misleading, sorry. So, in order to put you on the safe side, I need you to at least search for more credited versions of the truth. More ones that don't just come from a flimsy paper by a college student that was high on crack, but some that comes from institutions and bodies that are, I would say, concerned with the mental health of people, or at least they love their job enough to make their research extensive because it really helps you and goes a long way. Rather than wait for society to try and accept you for who you are, how about you try and fix whatever it is that is broken inside of you so that they don't have the chance to walk on you when the time comes? Because honestly, they would consider you a liability whilst they were the same people that you were working your ass off for. Jobs have driven many people insane, has caused a lot of stress to people, especially if you're a type of a family man and you're supposed to provide for your children, for your wife, and you're doing all of those under the weight of the stress that comes from work. Your mind is going left and right. Some people resort to drinking because that is the only way for them to relieve themselves. Because they can't go out and beat their kids or beat their wives as, some of us had to witness or some people had to watch on TV. It's always like it's always something that needs to be discussed, but you don't have the right people in the room who are willing to discuss this issue. It seems like every time someone wants to talk about mental health, they're either they're given yes man kind of responses. It's like they nod their heads and they're in agreement with you. But as to the effort that is put into producing such a good result or putting someone in extensive care because of their situation, that's not going to really happen. They're just going to say, yes, you're right. There is absolutely a need to focus our energies on mental health. But does anyone really do it? No, they don't because they don't want it. They don't want it too. If you are suicidal, you're gonna die. They're gonna get a replacement for you, and the work is gonna keep going on. And you can't say that people don't need work. People always need work. They need a way to survive in this world. And if we're all just gonna be drones, they might as well get used to it and try and exploit it as much as possible. If you fuck up, they have a replacement for you by Tuesday. And that's not really a great sign. Yeah, so mental health. Please think about it. Please think about it before you decide to confide in other people because sometimes it's never going to be that way. You're going to wish that you never told people your pain. You never told people how dark your rabbit hole goes and what exactly is plaguing your young mind. You have to bear that in mind that the only person strong enough to handle this situation is you, and you need to step up when you're all by yourself. You can cry if you want to. It's okay. Don't let them see you cry. Like it's it's hard. But to be honest with you, some people like it when you're fucking up. Some people like it when you're having a terrible day. They relish the fact that you're in pain. So please do not give them the satisfaction. You know you're great. I know you're great. And I don't need to see your face to know you're great. So thank you so much, and I'll check in with you guys tomorrow. Young Titan, out. Thanks for listening, watching, all that good stuff.